MVIL highlight loopholes in existing laws on illegal imports. Landowners divided on the SML for Porgera mine. And O'Neill pays tribute to Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe.
This is National MTV News with Jeremy Mogi.
Thank you for joining me. This is Monday's news. Existing laws continue to be a hindrance for the Motor Vehicle Insurance Limited from fully engaging in its functions to collect registration fees from vehicles and machinery operating in some logging sites and mines. Managing Director of MVIL, Michael Markup, highlighted this following reports that a large number of machinery and vehicles at several logging sites in the northern province have been found to be unregistered. He acknowledged that the MVIL and the country as a whole was losing millions of kina through this.
Work with them. Now,
Motor Vehicles Insurance Limited Managing Director Michael Markup says while there is a huge number of unregistered vehicles and machinery in logging sites, they will not be able to charge the owners because of the existing laws.
in the CTP Act, there is a provision that talks about where these vehicles are going to use the roads, the description of roads in there. It says public. It says public road. Now the logging people say, look, we're not covered because the Act says it's a public. We're not public, we're a private company. Okay, so they hide behind that legislation.
In order to address this, a bill sponsored by the minister responsible, William Duma, is set to go before Parliament for amendments to the Compulsory Third-Party Registration Act.
We have prepared the piece of legislation to change that from public to cover both public and private roads. Now, the catch is this. We are not talking about trying to, cover roads and motor vehicles. We are talking about covering people's lives. Okay, why we exist, it's compulsory third party. It is about ensuring financial security for our people.
Executive Manager of Operations, Helen Cocker, says MVIL was part of a task force team that went to Northern Province at the invite of the Governor, Gary Jufa, back in 2018, and they wish to engage in similar operations in future.
So in these kind of cases, if the government comes hard on the logging sites and allow MVIL and all the stakeholders, relevant stakeholders, to go in and cram down and generate revenue for the country, that would be good.
The recent special investigation team comprising immigration officers, the police and Northern Provincial Government identified 19 logged jinkers at various logging sites in the province. Registration of equipment and vehicles is based on tonnage, and if a jinker weighs more than 10 ton, MVIL adds 150 kina to every extra ton. So with 19 unregistered jinkers found in these logging sites, money is estimated at thousands have been lost. And when compared to many other logging sites using unregistered jinkers like that, not to mention machinery and light vehicles, the cost is sure to run into millions. Mr. Markup says one mitigating factor would be to have the presence of MVIL at entry points with the customs. He says MVIL is ready to fund this, and they are in discussions with customs to see how best this can be implemented. This, he says, will also help in identifying vehicles and machineries coming into the country and track their locations to confirm registration. Ruth Rungula, National MTV News.
Former Prime Minister and member for Yalubu Pangia, Peter O'Neill, has paid tribute to Japan's outgoing Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. He remembers Abe for his support for PNG in hosting the 2018 APEC Summit, honoring this by providing funding and technical support, and for Abe's leadership in signing the PNG Electrification Partnership Program. Shinzo Abe announced his resignation last week, citing health reasons.
The leader of the National Congress Party, Peter O'Neill, expressed his best wishes and gratitude to Shinzo Abe for his support to PNG in his term in Parliament. O'Neill, in a statement, said the relationship between PNG and Japan reached the highest level in the two countries' history through PNG's direct engagement with Shinzo Abe as Prime Minister of Japan. He said there were many high-level engagement between PNG and Japan during his time as Prime Minister, and says this brought about increased trade between these two countries. This was visible with Japan being one of the first buyers of the first LNG shipment and will be a long-term partner when investor confidence is restored and the new LNG projects come online. O'Neill acknowledged Japan's support for PNG during Abe's reign, noting his support to PNG's plans to host APEC 2018 by backing his support with funding in millions of kina, delivery of ambulances, fire engines and technical support. However, O'Neill said the highlight of their partnership was Abe's leadership in signing the 4 billion kina PNG electrification partnership that will deliver power to 70% of the PNG population by 2030. This program partnership was signed during the APEC meeting between Australia, Japan, New Zealand and the United States. Other projects in PNG that were developed through partnership with Japan under Abe's leadership include Port Moresby sewage system upgrade and the agreement for the construction of the Ramu 1 to lay high voltage upgrade. In wishing him well in his future life after government, O'Neill also welcomed Abe to visit and enjoy the warm hospitality of PNG. Ruth Rungula, National MTV News.
Coffee export prices in the Eastern Highlands have increased from 8 kina 50 to 9 kina per kilo since the establishment of the provincial government's coffee company, Rumbia Coffee Export. Having exported a first container of green bean coffee to South Korea, they're shipping the next container, but this time it is being sold at a price of 20 kina per kilo. This was announced by the Eastern Highlands Province Governor Peter Numu and Rumbia Coffee Managing Director Anis Kuri, who say it's about rewarding coffee farmers for their hard work, boosting the local economy and bringing in foreign exchange.
These green bean coffee bags have been sourced from small-scale coffee farmers in the remote parts of the Eastern Highlands, especially in Marawaka, Obura Wanenara district. They are stored here at the Eastern Highlands Province's Rumbia Coffee Export Company shed and will be exported to markets secured by the provincial government. With the first container already exported, the second container is ready to be shipped from Leh and is being sold at a higher price.
Market block green bean now people are entering the second contract as sales or purchase contract with the coffee market outside has increased to 20 kina, and this is a big move when we like talking about people from the Eastern Islands now. Rumbia is taking its shape now at the international market.
According to Eastern Highlands Governor Peter Numu, Rumbia Coffee Export Company was created to give better prices and provide market access for farmers because coffee farmers have been given low prices for their coffee. Since the company was launched in December last year, 300 green bean bags have already been exported to a South Korean market at a cost of 248,000 kina, which is about $72,000 US.
With these two containers that we are selling now, it's like 608,000 kina that is coming into the economy of Papua New Guinea. About 90% of that money will be retained in the country because it's only national exporters ourselves.
The same money we're giving to people. Want them good price. Now people but continue look out in coffee garden long haul so that we put money directly into their pockets.
In addition, the market secured by the company will require an additional 2 containers of green bean coffee bags per month. Governor Numu attributed the quality of the coffee to the managing director and the Rumbia team, saying the quality brings in the buyer confidence. Lucy Kopana, National MTV News, Goroka.
You're watching National MTV News. Among stories after the break, Minister clarifies the appointment of departmental heads and a new VC for University of Natural Resource and Environment. Welcome back. The saga over the special mining lease for Porgera is far from over. It's not just the tussle between the government and Barrick. Landowners are now divided, one in support of the government, the other pro-Barrick. At the center of it all, two brothers, Nixon Mangape and Maso Mangape, representing their various landowner groups. Nixon Mangape and his group were part of the 23 original signatories to the MOA signed back in 1989 between Porgera landowners, the state and the developer. Today, he thanked Barrick New Guinea Limited as previous leaseholders and says he is looking forward to the mine reopening under Kumul Mineral Holdings Limited.
Speaking as signatories to a MOA signed 30 years ago, the group of landowners in Port Moresby are happy about the state's decision to change the developer, a decision they have always wanted, and despite numerous dialogues with successive governments, the signatories say steps by the Marape government to let go of Barrick is in their favor.
So, all in all, people talk thank you. Now, probably something I'm talking about, which is state, and the provincial government, and the landowners. We share on him resources or talk about. Lo Barrick by renew lease again or 20 years.
At 4 p.m. this afternoon, MTV News confirmed with the Office of the Governor-General that the National Gazette, dated Tuesday 25th August 2020, which specifies the awarding of the Porgera SML to KMHL, was signed by the GG. However, the news was out since last night through an announcement made on the Prime Minister's Facebook page. It explains that Barrick New Guinea Limited's SML expired in August 2019, and their application for a renewable SML, lodged in June 2017, was rejected by the Mining Advisory Council. After reviewing the SML applications from both BNL and KMHL, a decision was made in the favor of KMHL. But while Barrick plans to take legal steps to challenge this, the signatories say they want Barrick to live and have sided with the national and Enga provincial governments.
Barrick by Pitok Tagyu Longan Ru, so say Materi, semi plus staff Longan, how I mean staff, you mean staff. So I mean, talking putting court or talking about because Lausim court Longan. I must withdraw court blongana. We must sort him out law, total law, asset blongana, what is any staff long, you must sort him out law, Islana. Every no can delay pull him time. So people do, me like some people bar up so. People am bar up for 30 years here. And now Nubla Kumul can find him Nubla developer, hurry up now by trading.
Meanwhile, in an interview MTV News conducted last Saturday with Nixon's brother, Mason Magambe, who represents the Porgera Landowners Association, Mason says PLOA has teamed up with Barrick.
Application long Barrick, yes, me been expressing like lo me long this la time. Or like but there was a concern feelings from that was long application long payam. But long this lab long Kumul Minerals longen and me play no been participate inside long any consultation process that was required and it's required under the law, but now me play feeling was me play background marginalized.
But when asked about statements released from PLOA, the elder brother, Nixon says PLOA represents the views of the contractors who had worked with Barrick and not the interest of the clan agents.
Me can talk to you all in the party law. There's an agreement where or negotiation where Prime Minister like inviting me to 20 original on the party law. This negotiation, number one, number two, in an agreement here, only not been signing. Number three, All of them are barrack contractors and barrack employees. They are saving barrack's interest, not landowner's interest.
Meanwhile, the situation on the ground in Porgera, discussions have only started on the aspect of a new SML. Thekla Gunga, National MTV News.
The Department of Personnel Management has clarified the process of appointment of departmental heads and provincial administrators under the amended Public Service Act 2020. In a media statement, Minister Soroy Ewe says under the changes, the National Executive Council has approved to delegate its powers to the minister to advise the head of state to make acting appointments. The amended Public Service Act 2020 came into effect in May this year.
These powers include facilitating acting appointments of departmental heads and provincial administrators. The acting appointment will be made only when the agency head is absent from office for more than 10 days due to short leave or duty travel, and there is a need for an extension of acting appointments when the 3 months of acting appointment has lapsed. Minister Soroy Ewe adding that the delegated authority to make acting appointment as a result of disciplinary action is the head of state upon advice from NEC. The minister further clarified permanent appointments based on merit. These are made by the head of state. However, stringent measures have been put in place to strengthen merit-based appointments. Under this process, candidates will be screened by the Public Service Commission. 3 preferences will be made to the minister for NEC deliberation, who then advise the head of state to make the appointment. The minister says during the tenure of the appointment, all NEC appointees are subjected to regular performance management process. This enables them to develop key result areas to measure against their term in office. Their performance is monitored and reports submitted to the Department of Personnel Management for record purposes. As part of the government reform initiatives, the department has taken on board all initiatives as part of the public service reforms. The minister says the government is reviewing all areas of the public service, and a report of these public sector reforms will be presented to the Parliament. Rayon Lakingu, National MTV News.
The University of Natural Resources and Environment in East New Britain Province has a new Vice-Chancellor. Professor Isaac Poor has been appointed by the University Council last week to replace Dr. Pongi Kichawan, whose contract was terminated. The University Council hasn't made known the reasons behind Dr. Kichawan's termination. However, student protests have been frequent over the last 5 years. Most of their grievances expressed were centered around ill management within the administration. Professor Poor's appointment comes following a series of changes made to the Vice-Chancellor's post over the years. At least 3 different people have been appointed to the Vice-Chancellor's post, but later were forced to resign or dismissed from office. And now looking at the NASFAN market report, the Kina closed 5 points lower at $0.2870 US in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your Kina is buying $0.2795 US, $0.3750 Australian dollars, $0.2265 euro, and 28.87 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold is trading higher, coffee and cocoa closed higher, copper closed lower, crude oil is trading higher, palm oil closed lower, and copper closed higher. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed at 161.60 points higher, the ASX 200 is trading at 52.40 points lower, and the All Ordinaries is trading at 49.80 points lower. We'll bring you more stories after the break. Stay tuned. You're watching National MTV News. Over 500 locals from Wampa LLG in the Huon Gulf district of Moraba province marched to the LLG administration office to petition the local and the provincial governments following the death of a young woman. She was allegedly raped and killed 2 weeks ago. The petition includes the urgent need for a police station and increased police manpower, Our Family and Sexual Violence Office and implementation of bylaws to stop landowners from selling their land unnecessarily. A suspect was arrested and charged while investigations are underway.
Women, children and men from Gabsonke community of Wampar LLG in the UN Gulf district of Morobe gathered in front of the shop and marched to the LLG administration office with placards to present the petition to the district, local and provincial government and the provincial police command. This follows the alleged rape and murder of a woman at the Gabsonke community near Nadzap. Wampar LLG Women's Rep and Police Reservist Mary Sual said criminal activities have increased due to no police station and lack of police officers to attend to the cases in the area.
Law and order inside Wampar LLG, a big issue. Plenty of crime activities people exercising. Now plenty go through long arrest, go through long sentence. Or still walk lo hide na stuff inside. Now walk lo come up with more problem inside.
I think this lady's right hand. On brings the petition, so I may give him weight. Long leaders, building on the police. That's my appeal to governor and member for One Gulf to build a police station, permanent police station equipped with police car and police officers here to deliver police service around this area.
According to the Wampar LLG Deputy President Jacob Bill, the young woman was found dead by a group of students. She was a mother of one employed by a foreign-owned shop near the Nadzap airport. According to Morobe's Rural Police Commander Chief Inspector John Daviaga, a suspect was arrested and interrogated. An investigation is still underway.
I appeal to the relatives or anyone around the community at Nadzap to come forward and give us information that will assist us in our investigation.
A local woman and former women's rep Alice Uruwaka said a contributing factor to the increase of law and order issues is the selling of land by landowners to outsiders without following proper process.
Plenty all work local ECC, no come by ground penis. Like this plan, I'm going to give me plan heavy. Up time Salim ground, now we practice heavy now. Child about 17.
What Papa ground must produce him bylaws blown. So the display bylaws and we can guide him. Like now problem come up now, I'm not got bylaws. All man can make him something no thing blow let. Heavy come now, some now one meda him come up. I'm true no got proper bylaws inside the community.
Gabsonke in the Wampar area of UN Gulf district will accommodate impact projects including the redevelopment of the Nadzap airport, Nadzap township and Lane Nadzap 4-lane highway. It has a population of over 6,000 and has 27 wards, the highest out of the 9 districts of Morobe, which include both rural and urban settings. According to the locals, there's still lack of basic government services such as health and law enforcing agencies. Julie Badui, Oa, National MTV News, Lay.
Truka Sports is next, and the big man Fidelis Sukina is here with a big lineup for sports.
Yes, Jeremy, we will review the weekend's NSL matches that you commented on and some rugby league news from the Highlands region. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
And good night and welcome to Trukai Sports. Lackluster matches that failed to live up to the hype were the day's outcome after round 14 of the Kumul Petroleum National Soccer League. A lack of goals in the top table clash left both Vitias and Hekari United 1-1. While indecisive refereeing was a consistent feature throughout all of Saturday's matches. Billed as the match of the round, second-placed Vitias United were up against a Hekari side fighting desperately for a OFC contention. A slow start, it was obvious there was tension in the air. Hekari pressing cautiously. The potency of one Matthew David clear on their minds. But it was David's strike partner Jonathan Allen that would break the deadlock.
Jonathan Allen for Vitias!
Hekari rocked back into action, unwilling to let the memory of the bitter 1-0 loss to Ley remain. Back on the pitch after missing a week, Captain Michael Foster equalizing 5 minutes later.
Hekari looking for that equalizer. Foster, there it is!
Those 2 goals, however, on the highlights in a relatively pedantic match. Hekari with multiple opportunities to move forward quickly, opting instead to pass the ball to death. Vitias, however, exposing the Hekari defense on more than one occasion. The fast pace of the Vitias-Hekari match gave way to an almost boring encounter between FC Bougainville and Morobe United. Loss of possession, poor ball control and worse, horrendous throw-ins by both sides on an almost constant basis had viewers concerned about the quality of the National Soccer League. That match ending 3-0, but it was the 80th minute corner that is proving to be a talking point. Midfielder Steven Inia, who moments before had appeared to move the ball outside of the quarter circle, his delivery leading to FC Bougainville captain and PNG defender Abel Redener to put his name on the score sheet. Those goals aside, it was a dismal affair and a poor display of PNG's premier football competition. The most entertaining match, however, had to be the day's final fixture between FC Borobe Wawens and Gulf Comara FC. End-to-end football with pace, shots on goal and glimpses of quality touches. That game ending with a 2-1 victory to Gulf Comara. Palapol with a stunning opener that encapsulated the team's confidence.
Well, if that isn't a goal, I don't know what is.
Wins by the higher ranked sides and the Vitias-Hekari draw sees no change whatsoever in the table, with only 4 more matches of the season proper remaining. Fidelis Sukina, Trukai Sports. Goals by Alwin Komalong, Emmanuel Irem and Jacob Sabua were enough for Ley City to maintain top spot on the ladder after defeating Kutubu FC in Ley this afternoon. The match, played under soggy conditions at the Sir Ignatius Kilage Stadium, had top place Ley take on the bottom of the table side Kutubu FC. Ley FC won 3-1. And to Rugby League, members of the Papua New Guinea Rugby Football League administration were in Tambul Nibilia electorate over the weekend to help develop the sport in the rural setting. Tambul Nibilia MP Win Daki initiated the Gilue League with over 70 teams participating in the competition. It is an initiative to keep the youths busy with sports and minimize drug and homebrew related problems in their communities.
The Gilua Rugby League competition is attracting positive comments from the Papua New Guinea Rugby Football League. PNG LNG Kumul's coach Michael Maroon was impressed with the team's style of play in the competition, but still sees room for improvement.
Yeah, I notice him in defense, both teams, and sometimes I'll put in one marker only. Maybe that's something all coaches can probably total all long, and they forget about being a second marker by helping defensive line. But they don't complain about the playing field. They don't complain about the referee's decision, which is fair. All in a worry lo madam salo in a map. They want to go out there and all are playing best balls.
The local MP Win Bakri Daki says he will give full support to the competition and urge the players to stay away from marijuana, homebrew and tribal fighting. He sees the potential in registering Gilua Rugby League into an affiliated competition under PNG RFL.
No more drugs, no more alcohol. Stop good, stop healthy, community must stop good. Time you must stop good, we must stop behind Lubla. Me less long arm, one blood knife, go jello. Feel. Me less long one blood houseman.
The PNG RFL administration is committed in ensuring coaching staff and referees continue to have their skills upgraded to improve the standard of competition and also to develop them for top-tier competitions like the Digital Cup competition.
and we need him hard work, and we need him commitment, and we need him discipline, and we need him effort. You put him all get something, but you work hard.
After 9 rounds of pre-season, the competition will kick off in round 10. There will be zone trials and a match between the grand final winner taking on the Lace Next Tigers.
People, Olympians up. All the city want something was same. All thing was a rugby back out of trouble camp, but rugby, Emma trouble camp. Rugby, Jumba call a place for white man. Rugby, Nubla leadership Jumba team. Rugby, communities are series.
Vasinata Yama, Trukai Sports.
And Goroka has been ousted as host for the Digicel Cup for this season. This comes after the burning down of a Kunai gatehouse at the NSI in a nasty turn of events during round 8 between the clash Goroka Lahanis and Lace Next Tigers in Goroka yesterday. In a statement, Stanley Hondina, PNG NRLC manager, confirmed pre-assessment of the game only allowed 500 spectators. However, passionate fans who could not get in took off the main gate to access the game. As a consequence of the breaches, no more Digicel Cup games will be hosted by the Lahanis in Goroka for the rest of the season. And more rugby league action and cricket in Madang after the break.
Trukai Sports.
And welcome back to Trukai Sports. The PRK Mendi Muruks today received support from the Southern Highlands Provincial Government. Governor of the province, William Powie, was there to hand over a dummy cheque of 500,000 kina to the team's management at the Hilton Hotel in Port Moresby. The PRK Mendi Muruks today were given a stimulus package, so to say, by the Governor of Southern Highlands, William Powie. The Southern Highlands-based franchise are currently fourth on the Digicel Cup competition and have been improving on their results on the field of play. William Powie said the 500,000 kina from the provincial government is the first installment of a total of 700,000 kina, of which the 200,000 kina will be given in due course.
Very pleased to make this payment of first 500,000 towards the support of rugby league in Southern Highlands. And of course there are sporting facilities and grassroots games and other preparations that are currently underway. But for this media conference is to demonstrate and make the presentation of this 500,000 for and on behalf of the Southern Highlands people and the provincial government to support the Mendi Muruks for 2020.
The Muruks are based in Leh at the moment due to the COVID-19 restrictions, and the team are faced with a lot of expenses to deal with. The chairman of the club, Isaac Joseph, said the contribution by the provincial government is timely.
In times like this where you see that our economy is not doing pretty good, we go into a hard time, and I think even at the district level, provincial level, even in national level, for a governor to come on board to really, give us 700,000. There's a lot of support and money from our governor. So I want to take this opportunity to say thank you. And
team manager Eric Alom said the Muruks are poised to have their programs rolled out, and with the contribution by the provincial government, most of the money is likely to go back to the province to register the men's and women's rugby league competitions to PNG RFL.
So part of this money we are definitely going to use that to register all of our leagues and whatever else we can do. That also includes the schoolboys and women's rugby league program in the province. So I think that is the first initiative that we want to get off the ground this year. Other than that, I don't have much to say. Thank you very much.
So far, the Mendi Muruks have received 1 million kina, with the first initial 500,000 kina coming from the sponsor, MRDC. With the balance by the provincial government, the Muruks are waiting for the remaining 200,000 kina. And Tuspab Secondary and Kuspau Primary School in Madang Province received cricket merchandise from the Bank South Pacific under the BSP School Cricket Program. Kilawani has the details.
BSP School Cricket Program celebrates 10 years now in Madang. While soccer and rugby league take prominence in the province, cricket is slowly building an audience and an interest amongst the youngsters. The code is taking on a new fan base in the province. Over 15 schools involving more than 5,000 school children participate every year since the inception of the BSP School Cricket Program. In their support to growing the code in the province, Bank South Pacific representatives last week issued BSP merchandise to a number of schools, including Tuspab Secondary School. While the build-up of following and participants continues through the support of the bank, Talent ID Manager Rodney Maha echoes the vision of Paul Sibet, Medang's regional cricket manager, that out of Medang will come a national representative in cricket.
Definitely. I also have a dream that one day someone from the outside, and I'm really hoping also from Medang they will be very soon. But there's a lot of hard work that needs to be done to get kids playing firstly.
Kilawani, Trukai Sports.
And that story ends Trukai Sports. Jeremy will be back with the weather forecast for the next 24 hours. Good night.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
Taking a look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours. Port Moresby, fine weather expected, a high of 30 degrees. Dario and Alotau, occasional rain and drizzle. Kerama, mostly fine, then chances of afternoon showers, a high of 29 degrees. While in Popondetta, mostly fine, then a chance of afternoon showers, a high of 30 degrees. Over to the Momase region and Inlay, occasional rain showers expected, a high of 29. Madang, Wewak and Vanimo, cloudy with occasional rain and drizzles. Across to the New Guinea Islands in Lorengau, cloudy with a chance of occasional rain showers, a high of 29 degrees. Kavieng, cloudy with chances of few showers happening, a high of 30 degrees. Kokopo and Rabaul, mostly fine, though cloudy at times. Kimbe, expecting cloudy weather, though fine in general, a high of 31 degrees. Buka, mostly fine, then possible afternoon showers developing. And finally, in the Highlands region, across all centers, fine weather, then possible afternoon showers developing. In Wabeg, a high of 23 degrees.
The weather update was proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
And that's the way it is this Monday, the 31st of August, 2020. We welcome September, Independence Month tomorrow. From all of us here at MTV, pleasant viewing, be safe, good night.